Hi there, it's Kelsey with Shipwreck Beads, and today we are going to make some seed bead tassel earrings. It is Friday, and as usual, I'm very excited that it's Friday. It's been a pretty busy week as far as videos. On Wednesday, what did we make on Wednesday? Oh, we did metal stamping, and then yesterday on Twitch, hi Pam, on Twitch I did my second live stream, and we made a charm bracelet. So that was a lot of fun, and we'll be filming on Twitch much more often, so you'll be able to catch us there. It's twitch.tv/shipwreckbeads, and we'll be filming that on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But today we're going to make some seed bead tassel earrings. I have the project prepped already because it is a very time-consuming process. It's not very complicated, and it's pretty simple, but it does take a lot of time to put together a pair of earrings. So this is what we'll be making in a there's our phone system, in a little different colorway. So I've got a couple of really cute fall color palettes that we'll get a chance. Oh, Morgan, thank you. You're so cute. Hi, Mary. Welcome today. So I'm going to talk a little bit more to get a few more people logged on and watching. I love seeing the little thumbs up come across the page. So happy Friday, Gerald. It's good to see you. So do you guys have plans for the weekend? I know my daughter has her last soccer game of the season on Saturday. Little sad to see the season come to an end, but I will not be sad to not have to stand out in the rain anymore, because it's no fun. I love watching her, but you know, it's just not so much fun to stand out when it's pouring down rain, getting wet and soaking wet, and yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and angle you down now so that we can get started. Alrighty. So for this project, you need minimal supplies. So you're going to need thread, and I'm using KO thread. It's a Japanese thread that's similar to Nymo, but it's not quite as stretchy as Nymo is. You don't need to condition it, and it's not going to fray as much. It's my preferred thread when I do this type of beading, which I don't tend to do often, but this project was actually recommended, or requested I should say, by Ginger Bear Cub, who is a viewer of this little show that we do here. So I've got that. I've got a needle, because you'll need a needle to thread your beads. I've got some 3mm fire polish beads in this really pretty dark copper. I have some size 10 seed beads in this really pretty like mossy fall colors here. And then we'll need some wire, some ear wires. Oh good, I'm glad to hear that, Gerald. So normally I don't tend to do this kind of beading, because I really prefer the short projects that you can start and finish in like a half an hour, and these take a really long time. So that's why I prepped almost all of our strands already. So each earring is going to have 10 strands of beads. So we'll make 2 more, because I've got 18 strands here. And so let's see what else we need. Oh, you're going to need 2 cone-shaped caps. Hi, Danielle. And you will need some glue and scissors, of course. So we're going to start by stringing on our seed beads. I'm just pulling a strand loose here. So each of our seed beads, they come in hanks that have 10 to 12 strands on them, so you get a whole lot of beads. And each of these pair of earrings can be made for about $30 with lots of beads left over. So because you need about 2.5 strands from your hank and 22 pieces of the 3FCs. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and thread our needle, and I'm leaving my needle attached, or sorry, I'm leaving my thread attached to my spool here so that I can minimize the waste. You are gonna end up tossing, hi Deb, hi Kim, you are gonna end up tossing a little bit of your excess thread, but that's all right, it's cheap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thread on about 2 inches of seed beads. Now what I do when I am working with seed beads is I'll pinch them between my fingers, pull out the string that they're strung on, and then thread the needle through while keeping the beads in line, because it makes it easier to quickly string them on. I prefer to work with strung seed beads as opposed to loose ones. just for this reason, because it makes it easier to string them on. And for those of you seed beaters, if you have any tips for me, I would gladly hear them. Like I said, I don't tend to do a whole lot of seed beading because I like quicker projects than seed beads allow for. And so I do have a ruler out here to measure. You know me, I don't usually like to measure things, but these ones it is kind of important to be precise with. So I've got my, my ruler out here. So once you get your 2 inches of seed beads on your thread, you're going to thread on a 3mm fire polish bead, or you could just do another seed bead, but I really like the little bit of sparkle that the 3FCs add to the design. So you're going to put your bead on, and then you're going to bead back through just the seed beads. So you're going to bead up and around, so you're not going to go through the 3FC again, and you're just going to go through the seed beads. And I do these kind of the same way. I'm going to pick them up on my finger. You know, I've never used a bead spinner, and I suppose you could with this one, but I'm just doing them the good old-fashioned way here. Are they convenient to use, Violet? Like I said, I've never used one before, so I don't know. I don't know. You could think, but then again, I don't do a whole lot of seed beading either, so. And for a lot of this, it wouldn't really make too much of a difference. So now I'm going to remove my needle, and I want to leave probably about 3-4 inches of thread at the top, because you're going to need to have something to knot. So you need to have your beads and then about 3 inches of extra string on the top there. Yeah, if you do a lot of seed beading where you need to string a lot of beads really fast, then they're really great to use. And that's actually how they string on the beads on the hanks in the factories and stuff, is using like a giant bead spinner. Can't get my needle rethreaded here. All right, there we go. So yeah, so I already had most of my tassels made up, but I did want to show you how I string them on. And it's just pretty straightforward. So I grab about 1 inch of beads in my fingers, take the string off, and then I'm gonna put my needle through without moving the beads around, and so that allows me to just stick them right back on. And whenever you buy beads, you always want to restring them, because the string that they come on is not that sturdy, and it's not meant for jewelry or any type of use. So you do need to remove them from the string and restring them on something else. Hi Ginger, you're just in time. So you actually suggested that I do this project and show you guys how to make beaded tassels. So that's what we're doing today. And when we're done with the video, I will post a link to both of the product lists for both earrings that we'll be making. So I've got this colorway here that's got this really pretty sort of amber topaz tones. And then this one that's got some really pretty mossy, kind of gardeny type colors. And so we're making earrings with them today, but tassels are so, I mean, we did tassels last Friday too, actually, didn't we? We did some leather tassels. So you know I love tassels. So these can be used as pendant pieces. They can be used as earrings. Yeah, there's a lot that you can do with tassels. Pull this string out here. So after you string your beads on, you're going to string all your seed beads, then string on a 3mm fire polished, and then you're going to bring your needle back through the seed beads so that you have 2 strings coming out at the top, and then you're going to trim that. So each of my tassels is going to have 10 strands hanging down from it. So now we're done with the beads, and we're going to need our wire. So some tools here. Alright, so to do this part, we're going to pick up one of our little bundles of thread and beads, a little tassel bundle here. And we're going to try and make all of the strands even at the top. So we don't want any, I mean, they're going to be a little bit of variation in length, as you can see kind of in these earrings here. They're not quite perfectly even, but we want to make sure and eliminate any stragglers like this one hanging down here. We want them all to be roughly the same length. So if you have any that are hanging down considerably, just pull that one out and then reposition it. Once you get them all lined up, you're going to tie a double knot at the top of your thread. So I'm going to separate this into 2 separate bundles, and then I'm going to knot them together. Try not to lose my threads here. You want your knot to be snug, but not super tight, especially that first one, because you want your threads to have a lot of movement to them, so you don't want to have it be too snug. And you want to try and not get any of your beads tucked up inside the knot. Okay? So now you've got your bundle is all connected, just like that. We're going to go ahead and do both of these little bead piles here. So again, you want to even them up so that you don't have any that are hanging down a lot farther than the others. Then you're going to knot your 2 sections together. And you want the knot to be right at the top of the beads, but you don't want to pull it so tight that it's going to cause your strings to get tight, because you want to have your tassels move and be really flexible and fluid. So now we've got our 2 sections done. So now I'm going to cut off about probably 6 inches worth of wire, and this will be enough to make both of our pairs of earrings. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a really small wrapped loop at the end of one of these wires. So to do that, you're going to turn your wire 90 degrees, make a loop around your round nose plier, and then wrap that wire around a couple of times to have a wrapped loop. Hi, cat. And then you're going to take your cutters and trim that off. Trim off any excess that you have. And we're going to make sure and tuck down that end so it's not poking up at all. Okay, so now you've got a little wrapped loop, and what we're going to do is we're going to string, ooh, there goes my wire, half of these threads through that loop. So the easiest way to do that, you're going to want to trim all of your threads so that they're even. Make sure you've got really sharp scissors to do that so your threads don't fray, and it'll make it a lot easier to string them through. So will a little bit of spit. Come on, you. All right, I'm going to try this again. They weren't completely even. right, so then you're going to string that through on one side, and now you're going to tie another double knot around the loop. Okay, so you'll have a knot securing your tassel to the wire. And now what we're going to do, don't want to get glue on my bead mat, so we're going to trim off these ends. You want to get pretty close, but you don't want to get like right up to the knot. You want to have a tiny little bit of space just so that they don't come loose. I must love knots, yeah. I just love things not falling apart. All right, and so now we're going to take a little drop of glue and we're going to put it onto the knot, and that'll prevent it from coming unraveled. And all of this is going to be hidden by our bead cap anyways, so you're not actually going to see this, but it's going to make it nice and secure for your earring. So then you're going to put your bead cap on there, and it's going to cover that knot up like that. Right? All right, so then you have your cap just about ready to go. So now what you're going to do is you've got your bead cap strung on, and now you're going to put another one of the 3mm beads on top of the cap. Oh, thank you, Leslie. And now you're going to make a wrapped loop on top of this. You're going to grab right on top of the bead, do a 90-degree turn, or bend in the wire, rotate your pliers up so that they're in the little crease and on top of the wire, and then roll it around, make sure your wires cross, and then you're going to wrap that around. And I'm doing a really precise loop this time. Normally, you know, I like to do like the messy loops, but I think for this design, just having that nice, tight, clean looking loop is a better look. And because I'm doing the nice tight loop, I'm going to use my crimp bead pliers and use that very front opening in the crimp bead plier to press that wrapped loop around. And that's going to tuck that end in. And then you have your tassel. From Nicaragua, wow. So now you've got your tassel made. So now we're going to go ahead and finish up this other one here. And then we'll add our ear wires. So yeah, you can see they're really simple to make, but they are rather time consuming. I think each pair took me a little longer than an hour to make. So they do take a while, but they're pretty easy and they're very inexpensive to make. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my leftover wire and I'm going to make another small wrap loop. And this is where I'm going to attach my wire, or attach my tassel threads, and it's going to be hidden inside my bead cap. So these kind of tassels are also a really good like bang for your buck design, because you know you can make several pairs of them for under $50 with the cost of the beads, ear wires, caps, all of that. I mean, you could probably get, I don't know, 4 or 5 pairs out of one hank of seed beads. And then depending on the caps and the other findings that you use, it can be pretty inexpensive. Plus they look nice and they're easy to customize. You can make them in any color. I really like these because they're, you know, you've got a lot of different colors in there and they're just really nice mixtures. You can also use bigger beads too, although the bigger the bead that you're going to use, the heavier the earrings will be. These ones are actually nice and light because they've got the seed beads on them. beads don't weigh a lot. So now I'm going to tie a knot around these, the loop there. I'm tying a double knot and then trimming these cord ends. And you're going to tie it pretty close to the knot, but not right on top of it, because you want to make sure that those knots aren't going to slip out, or that those threads aren't going to slip out of the knot. And then you're going to apply some glue to the knot and just give it some extra security. So I always make sure and touch each side of the knot. You know, considering how much work and time goes into them, I would probably price them $20, $30 a pair, maybe. Because they do take they take a long time to make. So you want to factor that in to the cost of things. But I think 20 would be probably a good price for a pair of tassel earrings. And you can always add more threads on them too, so that they're even fuller. So then you're going to put the cap down after you glue it, and then string on your bead. Carla, better late than never, I think. And so I'm using, this is a 22 gauge copper wire. Oh, this is a bare copper one. Well, you can use any wire though, but I'm using a 22 gauge. It's a nice sort of middle gauge. You don't need to use something too thick because your beads are small. But I wouldn't go any smaller than a 22 gauge. So now I'm going to make another wrapped loop. Hi, Sue. Congrats on the Cubbies win. I'm not a Cubs fan, but I am a baseball fan, so I can really appreciate that win. That was definitely hard fought. So now I'm making wrapped loop on the top there. What is the name of the color mixes you used on these pairs? Just how to make money on these. Hold on, sorry. Looking at your comment here, Ginger. Would you put extra glue under the bead cap? You could, but I don't think it's necessary to put extra glue under the bead cap, because the glue on the knot's going to hold it in place. And then since you're using a wrapped loop, yeah, Rosie, you'll be able to watch it as soon as I'm done. It takes about like 3 to 5 minutes for Facebook to upload thing or get it all ready to go, but then it will be on our page so you can watch it from the beginning later. But yeah, I have somewhere saved on the Pinterest page, I think, that's got a really nice chart for figuring out how to price your things. You take the cost of your goods, times it by like 2. Anyways, I'll look for the chart and I'll post that here in the links or in the comments so that you can take a look at that. But that's a really helpful conversion, because you take the price of your goods, the amount of time it takes you, and the amount of time you'd want to be paid an hour, and use that to sort of figure out how much they would cost. So let's see, these color mixes are called, Gerald, this one that I'm doing now is called the Earth Mix. And then this other one is called the Browns All Mixed Up. And I will post, yeah, you could totally add it to whatever you want, Danielle. But you can, what was I saying? Oh, I will post the link to the supply lists that I used on each of these as soon as the video is over. So I do have those saved on our website. I think I called this one Mossy Garden, and these ones were Changing Seasons or something like that. But yeah, they're size 10 seed beads. All right, so now I've got both of my little tassels finished. Yeah, $25 a pair. Thanks for your input, Kelly. So that's definitely a reasonable price, because you need to consider how much time they take to make. And like I said, this I had them all prepped and ready to go for the video, but each pair took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours to make. Now, granted, I was kind of doing other things in that same process, but All right, so now what I'm doing is I'm opening the loop on my ear wire here, and I'm going to put on my tassel, and then I'm going to close up my loop. You're going to open it just like you would with a jump ring. And these ear wires that I'm using are from Tiara Cast. Actually, the caps are from Tiara Cast as well. These ones here are a copper niobium, so they should be hypoallergenic, which is something to consider when you're making jewelry. You want to make sure that you're not going to give somebody a nasty rash or something like that. So you're going to just open the loop up. You don't want to open it too far. And you also, when you're hanging these from the ear wires, you want to pay attention to which way your loop is facing, because you can see, no, you can't really see. It's a little blurry. But sometimes the wire will cross in the front versus crossing in the back. And you want to make sure that either way is fine, but you want to make sure that each earring is facing the same way. So if you've got that cross in the back of the earring, oh no, it came undone. So that's why, fail. You want to wait for the glue to dry before you start pulling on these, which I clearly didn't do. And we're just gonna be sad about that one. So wait for your glue to dry. Rule of thumb, always wait for the glue to dry. Because it should, once the glue's dry, that's not gonna go anywhere. And unfortunately, I was pulling on it a little too hard and the glue wasn't quite dry yet, and so that knot came undone, which is very sad because I don't know if I can fix that. We're gonna try. Wah, wah. It happens. So, you can see my little craft fail. Which is really disappointing because, like I said, these things take so long to make. Ah! See if I can even do this. See the maid with the wire wrapped around the middle of the tassel, then pulled through the cone. Oh, that's a good idea. That's going to be my next try, but yes, you can. And again, you don't want to mess with it until the glue is dry, because then you can have happen to you what just happened to me, and that is not good. Especially when you're on live video trying to teach people how to do this. Yeah. Good times. Great oldies. We'll give this another try. Ew, they're all sticky. Yeah, see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. How can I do this? I'm going to try, who is that? Danielle's idea, and we're going to wrap it through the middle of the tassel here. We're going to get this to go through here. My first knot. All right. All right, Danielle, your tip saved the day. So all I did here is I shoved that wire through the knot that was already in place, and now I'm going to make my wrap loop, and I'm going to add lots of glue, and I'm not going to mess with it. Well, that's a lie. I'm still going to mess with it, but yes, always let your glue dry. But lucky for us, that's going to all be hidden inside the cap, so no one's going to see our little mess up. And no one will be any the wiser. All right. All right. I'm going to add even more glue to that, I think. Oh, the glue. I mean, and really the rule of thumb for glues and adhesives, you want to give them like 24 hours to dry, but honestly, I've never done that. There, it's like it never happened. Magic. Oh dear. All right. No one will ever know. except you guys because you watched the video, but no one else will ever know. All right. We're just going to be really careful while we attach this. All right, just for good measure, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue. Aw, thanks. And I'm going to squirt some more of it up inside this cap here, just to be safe. It's one of the reasons why I really like this GS Hypo Cement is because it has a really fine tip, which is perfect for these little projects. And of course, I'm getting it all over the place. But that'll give us just a little extra security there, and hopefully save the day. That was a good idea, Danielle. Thank you very much for sharing. All right, we got some extra glue on those, so I don't think they're going anywhere now. All right, so there we go. So there's the two different earrings, the seed bead tassels. And this is also a good way that you would want it. You know, it is pretty messy. It likes to squirt out. Yeah, so it just kind of, that's why you, with this stuff, you want to make sure and put that cap on right away because it just sort of starts to ooze out and it's really, it gets all over everything. So always have like a scratch piece of paper down ready to go because you can easily ruin your bead mat or whatever surface you're working on if you're not too careful. So that's why I've got my little notebook here. But this is also the same way you would end like a multi-strand necklace that if you've done it with thread, or even if you do it with beading wire, you're gonna hide those ends inside the bead cap. And so that's a great way to finish up a multi-strand necklace or bracelet. Also kumihimo can be finished that way as well. But there you have it. There's two different types of tassel earrings. You can see the two different colors here. Very pretty fall colors. Sometimes we give them away, sometimes I wear them, most of them go on display in the showroom. But what do you think today? I think we should do a giveaway. So what I would like you ladies to, look at all the hearts. I said the magic word, giveaway. So what I'd like you all to do is leave a comment telling me what you are most thankful for. It's November. I know. Here, we'll go ahead and angle back up. All right, a free weekend. Yay! That's always fun. All right, so let's go ahead and try these on. Ooh, those are pretty. Yeah, they're not very heavy at all. Actually, I like that idea. So I'm going to give these away to Danielle and to Ginger Bear Cub because I've got two pairs, so I'll give one to each of you. We're going to give one to Ginger Bear Cub because she suggested this idea. She sent me a message on Facebook, and yeah, so this was her idea to do this project in the first place. Let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, and we'll give a pair to Danielle Dohanic, right? I'll have to make sure because she gave us the tip that saved the day. Oh, okay, so we'll give the extra set to the person who comments what they're most thankful for. You're amazing, Danielle. Thank you so much for your generosity. So Ginger, send me a message with which pair you'd like. I've got the, see, this is the Mossy Garden pair, which is the greens, and then I've got the fall changing leaves set. So let me know which one you'd like, and we'll get that sent out to you. And then the other pair, since Danielle is sharing her she's going to be generous and share since she won a prize a couple weeks ago. She's going to pass it along to the next person. So let me know what you're most thankful for this month, and we could pick you to win the other pair of earrings. So Ginger, send me your address. Danielle, thank you so much. And the rest of you, let me know what you're thankful for. I myself, the brown set. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna give away the green set here. So that's this pair we're gonna give away. So let me know what you're thankful for, and we'll announce the winner next Wednesday. And so hopefully you will all have a great weekend. I myself am thankful for my family and my husband, who made me breakfast this morning and took me out on a lunch date today, and that was a great surprise. And I am out of here for the day, and I will see you next week. Tuesday I will be on Twitch. I'm not sure what time, so be sure to check out our Facebook page to find out. Aw, thank you, Tracy. Oh, good, Linda, I'm so happy to hear that. Oh, that's great. You know, it's hard. Sometimes you get in like a slump, and it's hard to get out of it. And I'm glad I could help you with that. Aw, I feel in good company. I love Candy. She's so inspiring. I got to meet her at Bead Fest, and she's just fantastic. So, I feel honored to be included with her in helping you get your creative spirit back. So, all right, you all have a great weekend. I will see you next week, and yeah. Happy Thanksgiving coming up soon, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.